Well, yesterday was tax day. Unfortunately, Georgia and Carolina got a little bit of an extension because of Hurricane Helene. But the U.S. tax code is vast and complicated. And to take advantage of all the tax saving opportunities available to you, you really need to start planning for your income taxes a year before the April filing deadline set by the IRS.
We are joined by certified financial planner Will Rogers to talk about strategies to improve your tax situation for next year.
Hey, Will, good to see you.
Hey, good to be here. And it's so much easier to do a little bit of stuff where, let's put the cookies in the oven and let them bake for the year and have something delicious come tax time next year instead of scrambling at the last minute and just having charcoal briquettes.
You're the king of analogies.
He is. Oh my gosh. Well, Will, what are we focusing on today?
So as we're looking at our taxes in your own individual situation, you want to know your tax bracket and some of the age-related changes. We're going to look at withholdings, ways you can reduce your taxable income, and then ways to get organized to make it easier next year so it's not pulling your hair out.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put my hand up and say I don't know my tax bracket. So what should folks know about their tax bracket?
Well, as we look at it, one of the things that kind of jumps out to me is like a 1-2, the $100,000 limit. It's $96,950 or something, but that's the top of the 12% bracket. So if you're close to $100,000 in income, you're close to the top of the 12% bracket. Double that to $200,000, a little bit higher than that, 206.7, but 22%. Double that to about $400,000, you're top of the 24% bracket. And so you want to know, are you at 100, 200, or 400,000? If you're close to those levels, then, and this is just married, so single individuals, Taylor, you've got different brackets, head of household has different brackets, but as you're looking at that, knowing where you're at, and remember that at age 65, the standard deduction increases and Georgia retirement exclusion kicks in. So retirees in Georgia can make $65,000 a year of retirement distributions, pension, and it's Georgia tax-free. So they still got to pay the feds, right, but there's breaks that kick in, 62, 65, and 70 for Georgia residents.
Now, Will, why do you need to review your withholding?
So as looking at your withholding, if you under withhold, you can have some penalties. And as there's been changes in the withholding formula that's gone through the last few years, especially with inflation, you don't want to be surprised where you're owing money or penalties. Also, if you have a change in status during the year, you get married, you get divorced, you have a child, or you have a child that is successfully launched into the world and no longer your dependent. Any of those changes of status can be a big deal, and having that, where if it's you or say your spouse started working and got laid off, that could be a change of status. And so look at your withholding to make sure it's where it should be.
And that really can be beneficial as far as taxes.
You can avoid penalties. There could be money that you might be over withholding and use some of that money now. You want to be Goldilocks with it. Not too much, not too little, but just right.
Okay. Talk to us about the ways there are for most folks to reduce their taxable income.
So the opportunities that most of your viewers have will be their employment plans at work. Now, this could be a health savings account. It could be their 401k or 403b or 457. You might also be able to put money into a traditional IRA. These are the biggest ones that help. Also, if you've got deductions that are close to about $30,000 a year, bundling them, because your standard deductions were $30,000. So, it's kind of a wash any given year, but if you can bundle those, so you use all your deductions one year, then the next year you don't use any, then you might get up to about $60,000 in deductions. And then also managing your portfolio trades. One of the things we did over last week was look, are there any tax losses that made sense to harvest? And as things were going up in the previous years, we were very intentional about capturing long-term capital gains rather than having the short-term capital gains. So managing those are big ways that if you're just thinking ahead, it's kind of like driving down the road and you're aware. Let's not speed. Let's not be flooring in bad weather and stuff. let's have a smooth ride.
Now, Will, this is a big one. How should you organize your tax documents?
And this is so much easier to do right now. Whatever you had as tax documents to get together this year, odds are you're going to need the same type of documents next year. So have a folder, if that's a physical manila folder that you've got in a filing cabinet, or I've got it electronically where I just store it on my computer. And when these documents come in, if it's charitable donations, if it's property taxes, whatever it might be, have that in a folder. And some of your documents might not come up until next year, your W-2s, your 1099s, but you're going to get all those in January. Right. So when they come in, have a place to save them all. And then when you go to prepare your taxes, having all those documents together, it just makes the process so much easier. Whether you're doing them yourselves or taking that to a professional to help you out. I use a CPA for my taxes, and I'll bring it all in there. It's like, okay, here's my one big folder. Is there anything that I'm missing? And we're usually able to have my taxes done mid-March.
They'll just hand it back to you in the pack right there.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And then there you go. Then you just pop that in the folder too.
Yes.
All right, perfect. Great tips to keep in mind. DVR this or check online at our website, because this is stuff you want to keep in mind for next year with your taxes.
Yes.
Well, always great to see you. Appreciate it.
Good to be here, and hopefully happy tax time next year.
Yes.
Okay.